So number 2, we talked about lowering the self-esteem. So it's going to cause a lot of issues with your productivity. And the reason why it's going to cause a lot of issues, because if you don't believe that you're going to actually reach a certain target, if you don't believe that you're going to be able to deliver certain results, you're not going to take action. You're not going to 100% take action towards delivering those results. You're going to kind of do it. You're going to kind of 70% commit to it, but you know deep down inside that you're not going to deliver. And if you have that feeling of you're not going to deliver, then obviously you will not be able to deliver. And that's going to cause a lot of issues with your productivity as well. Next, we talked about it. You're going to start developing a lot of weak relationships with people. You're going to start developing that reputation of being unreliable. He says something, he doesn't deliver. So people will not believe you anymore when you say you're going to deliver. People will not believe you when you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to start producing $10,000 in revenue every single week. They don't believe you. You walk away, they start laughing. And you don't want to have that reputation. Because then you can't do business with people because people will not take you seriously. He says a lot of things, he doesn't deliver. He has commitment issues. He can't commit to one thing. He's constantly looking for the next shiny thing. That's one of the biggest problems a lot of people have. They've got an opportunity in front of them that could make them a ton of money, but they're always constantly looking at the next shiny opportunity. They have commitment problems. And like I said, if you've got that issue, you're never going to be able to be successful at one thing because you have to master one thing first. And once you master that, then you can start getting into other shiny opportunities, but you got to master one first. You don't be the jack of all trades and master of none. That's not a good reputation to have. Next, we want to learn how to develop commitment habits. So how do you develop that? How do you become somebody who's constantly committed, easily, and not just kind of interested or kind of delivering? One thing that we do in business all the time is that we either say yes or no. We don't say we try. If we're dealing with a finance company, if we're dealing with the bank, if we're dealing with getting a loan, it's either we do it or we don't. And we don't play games. We let the other person know all the time whether we're going to be able to deliver or not. If they give us a certain threshold, quota, certain revenue to generate, it's either a yes or no. We're either going to commit to it and do it or not. There is no like, oh, we want to try and see what happens with it. Because we don't want to develop weak relationships, especially in business. You don't want to develop that reputation in business that, oh, this person talks a lot and he never delivers. You don't want to be that guy, trust me. Nobody is going to want to do business with you. Nobody takes you seriously. Okay? So in order to develop the commitment habit, make it a priority. If you make a commitment to something, especially to yourself. Again, let me remind you, when we talk about the commitment, we mainly talk about your commitment to yourself and to your own goals. So if you want to develop the habit of being committed to your own goals, make it a priority all the time. If you want to make $2,000 a week, $3,000 a week, and that is your goal, make it a priority. Nothing else should come in the way. Not rain, not snow, not pandemic, not epidemic, not personal relationships, not family, not friends, not partners, not lovers. Nothing should come in your way. Because it is your priority. Your goal is the priority. If your priority is to make that money and attend these meetings and work with the company and grow with the company, that should be your priority. Not that, oh my God, my car got a flat tire, I can't make it to the meeting. That where are we sitting now? Reasons or results? When, you know what? It happens all the time. Don't take it personal. I get a lot of text messages in the morning from a lot of agents, especially when our offices are at their peak with 100, 150, 200 people. There are text messages in the morning coming. I got a flat tire. I got this. I got that. Do you think I care? No, honestly, do you think I really care? I understand that you have your reason for not showing up to the office. Makes sense completely. And thank you for letting us know, but we don't really care about the reasons. You're either here or you're not. You're either making money or you're not. You're either hitting up your appointments or you're not. And good, like your reason is good for the manager. The manager is going to want to know why you weren't able to show up to the meeting or to your appointments. But at the end of the day, we don't really care about it. If you're committed to showing up to the meetings, you will find a way of showing up. If you get a flat tire, you will call the tow truck and you'll take an Uber to get to the meeting as soon as possible. So that's the difference between commitment and interest. And we see that and we judge you based on that. Trust me, believe it or not, every single one of you guys that I look at right now, I can easily give a commitment percentage to. This person is 100% committed. That person is 20% committed. That person is 10% committed. I can see it. Because we've been dealing with every single one of you guys for almost a long time. Not everyone for a long time, but it's easy to tell. Because your actions, they speak very loudly, especially in the business world. Next, you have to start with manageable segments. So if you want to start committing to something, you can't start committing to this grand picture that you know it's going to be really hard to deliver. If you're just starting off in this industry, you don't want to commit to making $10,000 a week in your first month because you can't deliver. So don't set yourself up for failure. Start with smaller goals. Set yourself up for $1,000 a week and then $1,500, then $2,000 because it's manageable. $1,000 is manageable. Anybody that starts in this business, their very first week or second week or third week, making $1,000 is very manageable. It's a very small goal. And then you work it up from that point on. If you want to start doing 100 push-ups and you've never done 100 push-ups before, you don't just jump into it by committing yourself to doing 100 push-ups because it's not going to happen. You got to start with 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, and 100. That's how it goes up. So start with manageable, small segments that you can manage with your own goals. Again, let me remind you, this is for your own personal goals. This is when you commit to yourself. Don't make a huge commitment that you know you're going to fail. Set yourself up with something that you can manage, that you can deliver. Make sense, guys? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Next, you have to always have a contingency plan. That means if you've got a plan of making $2,000 a week, $3,000 a week, or delivering certain results for yourself, you want to make sure you've got an alternative plan that if this doesn't work, I'm not going to sit there wasting time trying to figure the next thing out. I've already figured out the next thing. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to do this one. And if this doesn't work, I got a plan C. But they're all going to lead me to the exact same goal no matter what. And that's called being prepared. For people, when this whole pandemic happened, people panicked. Businesses panicked. Business owners panicked. A lot of people sat there and waited and waited and waited and waited, and they did not have a contingency plan on what they were going to do. Believe it or not, the minute the pandemic got serious, we had to sit down and we ran the company through different scenarios. We did a stress test on the company. We made a decision. Within 5 days, we executed on the decision when it came to the employees, the hours, the layoffs, who was going to work, how we were going to do it, and then we did it. That's it. We created a contingency plan within days, and we executed on it. If we wanted to kind of sit back and see how this pandemic was going to develop, guess what? We wouldn't have a business by now. So it is very important for everybody to have a contingency plan, especially if you're trying to run a business and you've got commitments, you've got an office, you've got lease, you've got car payments, you've got insurance, you've got phone bills, you've got rent. You can't just sit there and try to figure the next thing out. You have to have those contingency plans that are going to get you towards your goal, and it has to be prepared. It has to be ready to be executed. So if your plan of making $2,000 doesn't work this way, find another way of doing it. Get creative with it. You've got all the experience and all the knowledge that you need, especially in our industry. So you can deliver it. If not this way, you can find another way of delivering it. Make sense, guys? Okay, perfect. Next, your environment and your support is very important. You want to always be surrounded by people that are committed to their own goals, that do deliver all the time. They're not going to let you fail. They're not going to let you be kind of interested in something. They're going to tell you, man, you're going to have to deliver. If you've got that type of people around you, guess what? You will turn into one of those people. So start hanging out with people that have that level of attitude and that level of commitment to their own personal goals. Because that's the only way you can become one of those as well. You hang out with 9 successful people, you become the 10th one. You hang out with 9 millionaires, you become the 10th one. Right? They say you lay with the dogs. Exactly. You get up with fleas. So you got to be very careful with the environment you're in, because that plays a huge role. Sometimes you might make a commitment to do something, right? And then you kind of don't do it, and you're like, oh, you know what? It's a pandemic. It's okay, not do it. And you've got a couple of people around you that are just like that too. They're like, yeah, man, it's the pandemic. Forget about it. Who goes to work? Just collect your $2,000 from the government and relax. And then guess what? That's not going to increase your level of commitment. That's not going to make you want to jump out of bed and go produce and make a ton of money. Obviously not. So your environment and your support is extremely important. You want to be surrounded by people that are giving you that support. You want to be in the environment that also breeds that level of commitment across the board for everybody. Does that make sense, guys? Now you guys understand the difference of whether you're committed to something or you're interested, right? And you guys now know the consequences of not being committed and also how to develop that level of commitment. There's no such thing as being interested. If you're interested in something, you only do it when it's convenient. If you're committed to something or you're overly committed to something, you don't give a shit. You're going to deliver anyways. Raining, you're going to deliver. -30, you're going to deliver. +30, you're going to deliver. Pandemic, you will deliver. Epidemic, you will deliver. It does not matter what happens, you're going to deliver. Once you have that personality, you'll be extremely successful in anything you ever touch.